Greetings, Star Citizens, and welcome to Flight Deck. This is a weekly podcast about Star Citizen and other gamer culture topics. I'm your host, Linkstatic MDK, and with me, as always, is Paper Thin.
Heck yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we're a day late, but not a dollar short.
Oh.
Not a dollar short. We're just a day late because I had to work late yesterday, so we're like, and we'll record it tomorrow.
Yeah, it happens.
So, that's why it's a day late. Anyway, today's topics are Around the Verse episode 43, Reverse the Verse episode 46, the Star Marine FPS update, Hyper Vanguard Force, Fleshing Out the Starfarer, 10 for the Designers episode 3, and Discover Journals of Harper Nguyen. Is it Nguyen or
Gwen?
Gwen?
It's pronounced
Oh,
Gwen.
Well, all right.
I learned that from getting yelled at by people when I was a telemarketer.
I learned how to pronounce Thibodeau when I was a telemarketer, but not Gwen.
Gwen, yeah.
All right, so yeah, let's jump right into it. It's Around the Verse episode 43. This one was 36 minutes and 13 seconds long. We had another intro news. I'm sad because I miss Empire Report, but
No.
Yeah, well. So there's a website update that's been done. The Hall Series sale is done. They were at 82.1 million as of Tuesday night when I checked this last. So,
Ooh.
Money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So let's jump into the Spectrum news. They started with Santa Monica as Darian and Travis, like it usually is. Right now they're working on the repair mechanic. So that's both fixing and assessment. So they're thinking of doing both an electronic repair system and a physical repair system, but that's kind of being fleshed out currently. And eventually this will also tie into that repair bot stretch goal that we had forever ago. So that'll be interesting. I don't know. Is it going to require parts? Is it going to require tools? Is it going to be combination? Who knows?
I'm sure it'll be a combination. I'm sure you'll have to know what parts are needed where. I mean, I'm sure it'll be pretty similar to being a mechanic in real life.
Right. I don't want it to be super complex, though.
Yeah, well, they talked about it, and it sounds like it's going to be, to me, about as complex as the mining system.
Right, which is fine.
Which is complex enough to be fun, requires skill. That's what they're going for. So I think we'll be okay.
Hopefully. Yeah. They also talked a little bit about electronic warfare, so that's hacking, jamming radar, and all that. They're starting to work on the designs for this, and they also mentioned that you'll need special equipment, and your ships will need to be specifically designed to do this type of thing. It won't be like you can hack somebody while in a Super Hornet or anything like that.
Right, and this is stuff that they've talked about previously, so it's cool they're working on it. I think it'll be fun to play around with.
Yep, and then the last thing was they're finalizing the design of the Reliant, which is the two-person starter ship from Misk, which makes use of the Xi'an tech, so that'll be interesting when it's out.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not going to get it, but I think it's
I'm not going to get it either, but, I kind of like the Xi'an look, so...
Right. I'm pretty in on the Xi'an stuff, so...
Yeah.
I don't think I'll buy it with real money, but, eventually I'll save up UEC for it or something, probably.
We say this, but it might be the most badass looking thing ever.
That's true.
Oh, here, take my money, CIG.
I'm kind of expecting it to look like a hammerhead shark, just based on the Xi'an Scout that we've got, the Cartual. Like the way that looks, I'm kind of expecting this to have two cockpits in the front, and it kind of looks like a hammerhead. I don't know. That's just my prediction. So mark it, book it.
When you said that, I'm thinking the Corellian Corvette, the CR-90 from Star Wars, or all the old Republic style ships that they have from the newer movies, where it's that boxier look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe a little sleeker, but yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely, because the Carthual is a pretty sleek looking ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's what Santa Monica is working on. And they didn't mention FPS stuff, which leads me to believe that FPS is game finalized, and that's why they're not working on it.
Yeah, right. Well, I would assume if they're looking at network optimization and stuff, then that means FPS is pretty close to being ready.
Yeah, and Ilphonic was David and Chad, and they're working on network optimization, like you said. So right now, they're seeing a lot of FPS issues with the current level of fidelity in the game, so all these different props and all the ways you can interact with them and all the physics and all that. So They're trying to make that work better, and they're working specifically with Wormbite to streamline how stuff will move in the game and improve the performance. So you don't necessarily all need to see it move the exact same way. You just need to know where it started from, where it ended up, and if it hit anything along the way.
Yep. So really encouraging stuff. I mean, come on, FPS, just any time now would be great.
Well, and playtesting is starting up too. They also mentioned, so yay. Oh man, dream job right there. Sit around playing FPS and Squadron 42 all day.
That would be pretty nice.
It's like, oh darn, I can't go out with you guys tonight. I have to spend 16 hours debugging this new level. I'm sorry, guys. It's gonna be hell and torture. Meanwhile, smash cut to you just sitting there with this giant grin on your face and like Doritos and Mountain Dew and all that all around you. Not that I'm saying that's what I would do, but that's totally what I would do.
The stuff of dreams.
Oh man, I've prepared my whole life for this moment. Let's cut to Austin, which had Jake, Billy, and David. They didn't really have a lot to talk about. It was just pretty much they're trying to take the ship techniques and apply them to characters, and that's we've seen some of the previews of that where you're gaining material and texture polishing, and it looks a lot better in engine. Some of the ones they specifically mentioned they worked on were the light outlaw and marine, the medium marine, etc.
Right. I mean, yeah, obviously a lot of this is for FPS stuff as well as probably social module.
So. It does look so much better.
Oh my god, it does.
The early models looked like early models, right?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, 10 years ago, those would have been top of the line models, and like everybody would go, "Oh, they look so good." But nowadays, it's like those don't look good at all.
Yeah. No, the new reworks looked really good.
Yeah. And then Foundry 42 had Danny, who gave us a little bit about what they're working to improve the tutorial. So they're taking all the feedback that everybody has. For example, strafing too quick in the hangar. I've seen tons of videos of people ramming hangar walls. It's like, no, just tap it a little bit, guys, a little bit.
Give it a little taparoo.
Tap it in.
Just tap it in.
Yep. So they're reducing speed to navigate in the hangar. They're also making objective markers more obvious. They also are adding reminder hints, which I think is a fucking terrible thing already. Like, it's too many hints. Every 10 seconds, the stupid hint. I know what I'm trying to do. It's just the stupid vandals not shooting missiles at me, guys.
Right.
I don't want to have to hit a button every 10 seconds because your freaking thing's not shooting the missile and not letting me go on.
Right. I agree with you. When I was watching you, I'm like, man, that sergeant's really on your ass. Like, geez.
It's like, shut the fuck up.
Get it together, Link. Like, come on, man.
It's like when we were learning to drive, and the lady in the passenger, he knows the story, which is why he's laughing because he was in the car. We were learning to drive, and like the driving instructor in the passenger seat was all like, you can go faster in this, and I'm like, fine, fuck it, she was ragging on me for every little thing. I just gunned it, and then pretty sure we broke the speed limit by a little. Just a little bit, yeah. And me and the guy sitting in the back seat were trying so hard not to laugh. So I got it. Then we come to a stop by and just slam on the brakes to stop us.
She was. I mean, to give more context, she was riding you the whole time about stupid crap.
Oh,
like, just the most like inane stuff that doesn't matter.
And I'm a really good driver, frankly, like compared to most people. So it's like I just like I couldn't take it anymore. So then not a word after that.
She didn't say a thing. She just got out of the car and like went back inside and didn't say a thing to anybody. I think she was reevaluating her life choices at that point.
Well, I mean, for context, I am 6'3". I mean,
you are a big guy, yeah.
I am a big guy. I don't get pissed often because I have a very like amiable mentality, but when I get pissed, oh man.
Yeah, you do get mad. You're like me. We both, when we get mad, it's over.
It's over. It's done. Everything's fucking done. And the point of that story is that's what the stupid fucking tutorial reminded me of. You can do that. Yes, I fucking know. The last note I had was re-recording the barrel roll line to be an axle roll, and I'm like, I don't give a shit. Call it a barrel roll. Who cares?
Yeah. It's what everybody thinks it is, even though it's not. But who gives a crap?
Yeah, I mean, like there's some things where it's like you need to go away from precision for what people actually say. Like you have all of these things that people say because in conversational English is way different from written English, even though
Right.
you'd never write that, you know?
Right.
And I don't know.
I get what you're saying.
I'm all hyped and pissed now. Just remembering that story and remembering this guy bitching at me on
You're
the
fired up.
tutorial.
Channel,
I mean, like,
channel it. You gotta channel it, man.
Channel it. If I could like shoot key balls like in Dragon Ball Z or control the Force. Oh man, look out! The anger,
I would
the
not
anger
wanna be
would be so
anywhere near you.
fueled.
I would never want to be anywhere near you. I'd be like, nah, we're good here.
We're good. We're all fine here. How are you? So then after that, they showed one of the subscriber videos that they've submitted, which we still haven't submitted anything. But
Yeah, we should.
we don't have anything amazing to submit, really. You know.
We got the one where I killed you.
Yeah, but that's not a high quality. Like I didn't have a
No.
high. If I'm gonna submit something, I want it to be like a high frames and high quality. You know, I don't want it to be.
Yeah, you'll have to get a different recording program then.
Well, it'd be fine if I just recorded it, but I was streaming at the time.
That's true.
So the upload rate wasn't good. If I was recording, it would have looked a lot better.
That's true.
Anyway, so the one that they submitted was "May the Force be with you." I've actually had this bug. So the guy's like outside of his ship, but you're still controlling it. So like you're floating in midair, sitting, but like all your ship's controls still work. You're just no longer locked in place. So he was like moving his ship like he was using the Force, and the ship was like
funny.
Flying around and all that stuff.
At first, I was really confused. I was like, okay, so he's got like his distended body and the ship's doing stuff. I had to go back and watch it again, and I'm like, oh, it looks like he's moving it. Oh,
yeah.
I was kind
of. His hands were all like freaky and stuff. Yeah.
Right. Well, because like his ankle, like I couldn't help but like fixate on that. It was like twisted in a way that like shouldn't happen, and I'm like, God, that looks painful.
I've seen that injury before. It does not look good.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and then after that, we had Subscribers Corner with Alexis. With that, she was talking with Dave and Christine on Subscriber Flare. So they're doing a new brand series for Flare called the Explorers Collection, or Polizzi? I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
Subscribers, maybe. I don't know. So the first thing they're coming out with a piece of Ellis. I think it's a piece of something, all right. The fancy space rock, which is a destroyed. Ellis was a planet destroyed by its own moon, so this is a piece of that. And every other month rather, they'll get a new item from this collection, which was kind of like, it's a space rock. Like, I get its E-Pain swag and doesn't really mean anything, but like, it's a space rock. Come on.
Yeah, I just kind of rolled my eyes at this one. I was like, well, there you go, subscribers.
Yeah, it's Congrats. Like people have parts of the moon, and I'm like, it's a rock.
Yep.
Congrats.
Although, if I had a part of the moon, I'd be pretty proud of it. I'm not going to lie.
I'd
put it on display in my living room.
You're essentially just having something that, you know, you're also stand on every day. It's the same shit.
It really is.
Like, I would be more proud if it was a rock from another solar system, but even then, it's still the same crap you walk on every day.
More or less. But yeah, the other thing would be that it'd be illegal because you're not supposed to be able to have pieces of the moon without NASA's explicit consent. So,
well, let's see them enforce it when we start getting our own ships and can go to the moon whenever we want.
Well, that's different. But yeah, it's actually interesting. I read an interesting story about some people who stole a bunch of moon rocks from NASA and like tried to sell them and stuff. It was really interesting. It was like Bonnie and Clyde shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's an interesting story. Anyway.
Like, who else would you go to prove that it's a moon rock? No, it's like, so we're trying to sell this rock. All right, we need it authenticated. That's going to be a problem.
Well, you just need a spectrometer. I mean, I think that would be all you really need.
All right.
Anyway.
The other subscriber thing that came out was Hyper Vanguard Force, which I have not tried, but you played it, right? It's the Galaga clone or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's kind of a Galaga clone, similar to like Raiden or 1941, the top-down scrollers where you fly a ship. I love these kind of games, so I played a lot of it. It's really fun, actually. I'd like to actually see them like improve upon it and expand upon it. Like seriously, I love these games so much. So
Well, maybe they'll come out with like a version 2 or something when they start getting more ships. I
yeah.
think somebody was saying Hyper Vandal Force as well when they were talking
Oh,
about it. That would be sweet.
that'd be so cool. Yeah, I'm happy with them. Keep working on this and expanding on it because I love these types of games. I used
Yeah.
to anytime I saw like Raiden in an arcade when I was a kid, or even now, I'm like, all right, how much money do I got in my wallet? Because that's what I'm doing for the next couple hours.
the
Or my
last
wrists kill me.
the last thing I remember, like I remember bringing like a roll of quarters to the bowling alley, which had an arcade, but we were playing Gauntlet when we did that.
Yep.
And we did that for way too long.
Oh my god, we played so much Gauntlet.
It was fun though.
It was.
And then after that, we have the interview with Pete Mackey that James did. Essentially, they're currently working on thruster balance and upgrades, and with that, they're determining various outputs and upgrade paths for each ship. And then with that, they kind of have like this large spreadsheet that they can, with all these things that they can use to be, oh, we'll add a little bit here, a little bit there, take away from here, to try and balance the way it all works. And apparently, like each ship has its own distinct thruster setup that they've got recorded. So
Yeah, it was
Cool.
kind of neat, but stuff I kind of intuited by.
well, they've talked about it a little bit in the past, but not to
Yeah.
this like level.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and they also mentioned they are starting work on modeling the Starfarer thrusters. So
Yay.
cool. Yeah, that'll be interesting when that ship drops.
I know.
Then after that, we had the controller balance roundtable, which is, I think, a misnomer, because they really didn't like solve anything. You know, they're just like, here are our concerns. These are the same concerns we've had for like a year and a half. There you
Right.
go.
Although I
like,
did find the statistics they gave out interesting on who
Well, yeah.
uses what and how there's one dude who uses a steering wheel.
you know that's a badass.
That is so badass.
Steering wheel and pedals, but
This
apparently
dude-
he's like super high on the leaderboard.
Oh
too.
yeah, this
Yeah.
dude needs to freaking stream. I want to watch. Like I gotta see this in action. Like I gotta see how he does this. Oh my god, I want to try it. Like that's. I know.
That'd be awesome. The roundtable was Dan, Calix, Matt, and Ben. So for this, highlights from what they said was it's an ongoing process, nothing's final. They're talking about doing a full controller refactor, and the reason they need to do that is and revisit all these controls. There's now a lot of stuff in the game that wasn't when they first started setting all this up.
Right.
So like they're trying to figure out, okay, what are the most used buttons? Are they in their appropriate locations? Is it unified between just controller schemes? They want the FPS and the flight to feel similar with their controls too, so you can like leave one and go and do the other, and it's really relatively the same control setup.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's all stuff that's like good to hear, but at the same time, I don't feel like anything was really fleshed out or accomplished.
Not too much. Yeah, I mean, all we found out was that the most successful combinations are keyboard and mouse and joystick and mouse, but not by a significant enough percentage that it's like
Right.
game breaking. And it's just like me. I'm better with a joystick, probably just because I'm used to it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, I still think a joystick and mouse is what I'm eventually going to go to. I just haven't put the time into practice.
Right. I mean, it
'Cause-
probably is.
I mean, there's
method
no
I would
point in
do.
having a Super Hornet if you don't make use of the gimbals, right?
Right.
So,
That's true.
I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out.
Yeah. Well, they did say that like joystick users are performing well, but it's definitely harder to,
Right.
do the gimbling and targeting and all that. So,
Right.
yeah. Then after that, we had Ship Shape with Lisa Ohanian, which is the new segment which we talked about last week, which we were really fans of because,
Yeah.
having something specifically dedicated to ships just makes so much sense.
It does.
I imagine they'll probably end up doing something like this with FPS once FPS becomes popular too.
Yeah.
I don't know what they'd call it though.
I don't know either. I got nothing good on.
We'll think
top
of
my
some
head.
funny pun later. I don't know.
Yeah.
So this time she mentioned constellation updates. So there's three main things that she talked about. There's updates to they want more detail, more functionality, so they're adding bulkheads separating the cockpit and the living area. Inside the living area, they're adding a weapon rack, and in the cargo area, they're also adding a missile reload system.
Yay!
So cool! Can't wait till
Awesome.
that's in your constellation and I
I
can check it
know.
out.
I know.
The exterior is getting revamped. They're also adding more hard angles to that, and from what they were saying, with the modular compatibility that they're doing, it's easier to change the interior and exterior to make them look different as well. So, and easier to create variants and add specific functionality.
Yep. Yay!
Have you thought about what you're going to do with yours, or are you going to leave it stock?
No, I doubt I'll leave it stock. I mean, I probably won't change too much. I'm usually a big fan of like making minor tweaks to stuff to kind of just solidify the overall like image, but I probably won't go too nuts on it. I'm not a big like make it super flashy or super weird looking, unless I have a really good reason to.
You could put book front and center. He's our friends. We should.
Right? Yes. See, that I'm okay with. If I could put like dead people on the front of my constellation, then I'm cool with that.
Paint it red and muck up the hard drive a bit.
Exactly. If I want to look like a Reaver, I damn well better be able to.
Or the engine. I'm sorry, muck up the engine.
Yeah.
Hard drive.
Yeah.
Wow.
The hard drive. Well, that might be part of it too. I mean, I doubt the Reavers are very good at data management.
Well, clearly not. Clearly not. Then after that, we had the outro, which was the Starfarer back on sale, including the Starfarer militarized variant. And Sandy is also leaving for a couple of weeks to shoot Squadron 42 stuff. So I wonder who's going to be the new person with Ben, or is he going to do it solo? Who knows?
Well, yeah,
it's probably
going
to be James.
James, yeah.
Yeah. And then they had the sneak peek, which is the interior and exterior of the Starfarer. So cool.
Yay.
Yeah. And then the ending, they added the second subscriber video, which was Outlaw Heavy Alone in the Club, which wasn't really a subscriber. It was Cloud Imperium Records. And they had a dancing Outlaw Heavy, which is a creepy as hell fat suit guy dancing to pseudo Katy Perry music.
Yeah,
so,
I just kind of...
It was weird.
Yeah, I didn't know what to make of that.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on. After that, we have Reverse the Verse, episode 46. This one was an hour and 36 freaking seconds of my life gone.
Yep.
It was long.
Yep.
Like, I like watching it, but at the same time, it's a lot to, like, cut through to get to the good stuff. You know?
Yeah.
Like, after a while, it becomes white noise, and I just kind of tune it out.
Yeah, I really can't bring myself to sit through it very often.
So some of the things they mentioned was the FPS post, which we'll talk about in a bit, Starfarer, which we already mentioned, has come back, and the subscriber Moonrock Flare. One thing I thought was funny was that the joke now is the next two pieces of subscriber flare is going to be scissors and paper. And I'm like, yes.
Jokes.
The Starfarer Gemini, which is the military version, is upgraded. You can upgrade to it, and right now it's available with LTI for $240 in US dollars. Essentially, it upgrades the weapons, shields, thrusters, armor. And you lose cargo for doing that.
Yeah.
Which probably is worth it, frankly. And then they also were asking, will certain military ships not be allowed to access to certain areas? And yeah, it sounds like it depends on the ship. So depending on where you are and the type of ship you're flying around in, you might not be able to get into certain areas of space legally.
Yeah, that makes sense. And even then, like, also, like, if it's like a pirate, faction place and you're flying a UEE Super Hornet, they're probably not going to want to let you in.
Yeah, but are they going to be able to stop me? Is the question.
Yeah, you're not going to let me in. Well, I'm just going to blow this motherfucker up. Like...
Well, after everybody's dead, can I come in now?
Yeah. Is it safe to come in?
Other than that, they also mentioned there's the somebody asked, will there be like a free flight version in Star Marine where you can walk around and try stuff out, and like didn't sound like they were planning on doing that, frankly. Although I kind of get where they're going. Like, you want to explore the maps on your own without other people.
Right. I would like to have, I get what they're going for, because I would like to have a free camera mode, just kind of like zoom around the map and roam and look around and like plan strategies and tactics and that kind of thing.
Kind of like they did with Halo, where you had the builder mode. I forget what it's called, but you could transform into that little floaty eyeball robot guy.
Yep.
I also forget what it's called. It's been years since I've played Halo. I'm sorry.
I don't remember what it's called either.
Oracle, was it?
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I don't think that's like.
I think that's
actual.
what the Covenant called it.
That's what the Covenant called it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't remember. Anyway.
But
like they had with that mode where you could build and design maps, but you could also explore them. That would be pretty sweet.
Yep.
There's some swag upcoming, which include jackets, mugs, etc. We'll more on that later.
My hat shipped.
Did it?
Yeah, should be here soon.
Oh, cool. Mister, I have a normal sized head that can fit a hat. Blah blah blah. Look at me with my fancy. Fuck you. We also had the Reliant variant concept art I'll try that again. The Reliant variant concept art is starting. Wow, that sentence is terrible.
Good job.
Why are you fapping to me? That's
that
totally
was
what it sounded.
well, either way, I'm
not clapping.
Either way, I'm celebrating, right?
And then the only other thing that I really caught that I felt was worth mentioning was them bitching about the Star Wars prequels, a lot.
We've done that on the podcast, so
they're like, "Oh, we recently watched The Phantom Menace, and no, in my mind I thought I remembered it being worse, and no, it's actually that bad."
I haven't watched that movie in since high school.
I've seen that movie twice. I've seen Attack of the Clones twice, and I've seen Revenge of the Sith once.
Yeah, that's probably about right for me too. Although I saw Revenge of the Sith a couple times.
If I compared that to the old Star Wars movies, I can't even count that high for how many times I've seen that. There was a period of my life where I'd watch the Star Wars movies back to back and be like, you know what I could do now? Watch the Star Wars movies again.
Oh, I know. When I was a kid, I was watching a Star Wars movie every weekend, at least.
Oh yeah, and your VHS gets all grainy and crap. Yeah, totally.
I've gone through 3 different VHS copies of Star Wars. Bad.
Yeah, but that's because they're the only good ones that you can still get because the freaking DVDs are all those newer junk.
Ugh, I know.
Oh well. Anyway, enough bitching about Star Wars. Let's talk about Star Marine FPS update, because This is
Get
the hype.
Freaking hype. Get all the hype.
Alright, so let's jump right in. So character updates. They've increased the poly count. They're using more physically accurate materials. They're fixing and limiting anti-aliasing issues. They're laying the groundwork for customization system. There's character modularity, character optimization and levels of detail, multi-layer blending, character class and type specifics, and PU character standards that they've implemented. So, what does this all mean? Well, nothing we didn't know already.
It just all means we're getting really close to FPS.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work, which will make it life easier later on.
Yeah.
Animations, they've gotten most of the weapon-using animations done. Their movement animations like sliding, vaulting, taking cover, climbing, zero-G motion, using gadgets, reloading, jukes, which I was actually quite impressed with the juke video. It looked good.
It did. It looked really good.
I'll feel like I'm shooting an actual person now. Thank you.
I know. All this mocap.
It sounds
really
bad,
good.
But yeah.
Yeah. All this mocap is really paying off, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel bad for other companies. Every time I see something awesome, I always remember all those stupid magazines and articles by so-called gamer websites that are ragging on Star Citizen, and it's if you talk to actual gamers, they're just happy,
Right.
It's I want them to raise the bar. Why are you ragging on it?
Right. I mean, people are thrilled with Arena Commander. I'm thrilled with Arena Commander. It's everything I wanted and more already.
And they're adding more to it. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's just those game magazines, online things trying to generate, clicks and whatever. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, look at us. We're being, contrary just to be contrary. That's all it is.
Oh, it's like when Star Wars: The Old Republic came out, and there was this one magazine who we played it for an hour and we didn't like it, right?
Right.
And it was exactly for that reason. Everybody's like, how can you judge something negatively or positively with an hour of playtime? And everyone on your staff agrees when like 90% of the people everywhere else have enjoyed it.
Right. It's
It's
like
yeah.
they haven't even played Arena Commander and they're judging it. It's like,
Yeah, they
well,
can't get in because they have to pay money,
yeah. Oh, God
which
forbid
is
you pay
less
money to pay a freaking video game.
which is less than, you'd pay for a $60 title.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Go play League of Legends.
That's not even as fun as Heroes of the Storm.
Not. It's really not.
Yeah. Oh, we can say that we've played a lot of League of Legends.
Yeah.
We played it again last night.
And we hated it. Well, I didn't hate it, but I was reminded why I prefer Heroes of the Storm.
Well, like, it's so slow.
Yeah, it is.
Like coming back, you don't realize how slow that game is compared to Heroes of the Storm until you start playing it again.
Right. Yep.
Anyway, back on topic. Art and environment. They've got lighting rework, including ripple effects. They showed some pictures of Sadaball and the arena and HUD icons and all that. And they've added lights to give a better edging appearance to everything too. It looks really good now.
It does.
Yeah. It's coming together, guys. It's coming together. Some of the global art improvements that they had listed, there's adjusting the ambient lights, gameplay loadout changes in the Gold Horizon level. They're adding stadium-style candle lighting on the ring and above the goals. They've increased fidelity on the advertisements on both the ring and the ad drones. They've added frosted backlight panels on the cover modules. Overall, increased the global lighting contrast, added smaller human scale lights, added more smaller human-sized details for scale across many assets. They're creating animated advertisements that use the ad drones buzzing around the exterior, so that'll be cool.
Yeah.
They've also improved Skybox with additional Nebula assets. They're adding additional lighting paths to Gold Horizon, and the gameplay-specific artistic level changes to both Astro Arena, and Gold Horizon. So
yeah,
it'll look way different from what we even saw in the demo a month ago, 2 months
right.
ago.
And they did
whatever it
show
was.
some of the before and afters in
Yeah.
a video on there, and I would highly recommend people go check it out. It looks way better.
Like,
It
I didn't
looks
think
way
it looked
better.
terrible to begin with.
No, I
right?
didn't either. I thought it looked
I was
really
like-
good to begin with.
I'm like, oh, this is fine. I'll enjoy it. And then I'm seeing this new thing. I'm like, holy shit. Like, you don't realize until they do all that how much better they can make it look.
It is really good. I'm really impressed how they just keep striving to make things look better and better across the board, and they keep succeeding.
Yeah. Some of the stuff with Sadaball and Zero G. Players can't kill each other, but you can stun each other for a short period of time. You can grab the ball, and you can't fire while carrying the ball. You can pass it, shoot it, or drop the ball. Those are your 3 options. The full match is going to be about 7 rounds, and it's essentially what they're using to test out their zero-G movement and stunning. And right now it's a full body stun, but eventually they want to do extremity stunning, so like your arm doesn't work or your leg doesn't work, etc.
Right. This is like Ender's Game meets like the NBA. Like, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it. It actually sounds pretty fun. At first, I was like, this kind of sounds dumb. But now I'm like, yeah, I can get behind this.
I didn't like it when it was just getting a person through, right?
Right.
But now that it's like an objective style, I think that makes so much more sense.
Exactly.
It's like, with an objective, you can block. You could also, gain control, move it. If it's just a person, they could run and like force their way through, which I think is what we saw when they were doing the demo.
Right. I think this will be pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, I think you should be required to carry it through the goal. I don't want people to be able to shoot it through the goal.
I agree with that, assuming that the goal is like, decent sized. If it's actually like a smaller goal, then it might be kind of interesting.
I think it's the entrance area is the goal.
Right, so then you definitely can't just shoot it through there. That would not make sense. That would be way too easy.
Yeah. We'll see.
Although, yeah, we'll see.
Other things that they've talked about was jukes and movement transitions. We talked a little bit about this. They've got the different movement animations, depending on the type of movement, if you're running, walking, crouching, kneeling, laying, whatever.
Right.
And then with that, they've also got the jukes that go along with the type of movement. If you're going slow to fast, fast to slow, idling and then moving, quickly changing directions. It's all different animations.
Yep.
So,
Not much to
just
say there.
knowing how I play games, I'm gonna be juking constantly.
Oh yeah,
It's like I don't think I'll walk normally ever.
No, I'm just expecting everyone to constantly just be like this, like juke. I don't know. If it's anything, yeah, I'm just like you, where I'm constantly hitting keys, moving around. So.
Well, with stamina though, is that gonna burn through your stamina quick if we're moving like that? I'm
I don't know.
wondering.
It might.
We might have to change how we play.
I know. Gasp.
Gasp. Then also matchmaking. Some of the changes they put in that was they're gonna have a completely new matchmaker called the Game Instance Manager. They'll have a party service with that, and they also want that to be kind of a collective solution for like all their instance managing. Hopefully this will reduce queue times. They'll have less issues. They'll try and match people up by skill level. Types of ships, including the armaments of the ships, ping times, map preferences, etc., etc.
Yay!
So, and a chat system is upcoming, but they've been saying a chat system's upcoming for like a year and a half, so...
Yay!
I'm like, I've heard that one before.
Yeah, that one's not as crucial. I mean, you can use out-of-game chat systems, so...
Which we do.
Yeah, and we do. But yeah, the gym sounds pretty cool. I'm excited for the gym.
The gym.
That's what I'm calling it, the gym.
Well, isn't it a gim?
The Gime?
The Gime, because it's not a... I don't know.
I'm making a Simpsons joke there. That episode where he goes, "What's a Gime?" and he walks inside and he sees all the like weightlifting equipment stuff. He's like, "Oh, a Gime." I like calling it the gym. I think hey guys, we're gonna go to the gym. Let's meet in the gym. Make it sound like you're actually getting exercise.
I hope this doesn't catch on. I really don't. Then the technology. We had major focus has been on performance, which with the backloading reducing update that we talked about last week. They've also updated the Cry engine itself to make it work a little bit better with the 64-bit world and all the global entity IDs and geometry streamlining and game blah 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 blah. Technical shit nobody cares about. They've also gone with some visual improvements and are working on stability. They've also got, many things that they've put in, including the voxelized local and multi-physics grids and blah blah. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, stuff that I just kind of like glossed over, and I was like,
yeah, you know that like far off look, like that 1,000-yard stare. That's There you go. Audio-wise, this one, I figured you were probably more excited about than I. I mean, I get the importance of audio. Like, you definitely notice when it's bad.
Right.
Like, it's one of those unsung things where it's like, you don't realize it's bad until you hear it being bad, and otherwise it's just, oh, it's audio.
Right. Well, this was pretty interesting, using the WY stuff to, design all this and kind of bring it all together, and it makes it easier for them to implement sounds and change them on the fly and that kind of thing. So, yeah it sounds really interesting.
Well, then they also got the various types of metrics they were talking about, like the WI's meter, and the ducking and the loudness metering and the HDR and all that as well. So, essentially, they're trying to make it sound more like the real world and more of an open world for how everything sounds, for lack of a better term,
Yeah, it sounds like they're really going to be really detailed oriented with this, which is cool. It's going to be really fascinating to see how it all pans out.
Yeah. We also had that's pretty much it for the FPS update. I mean, now they just need to release it, right?
Yep. Yeah. Just sitting here waiting.
Give it to me. I want you to do it.
The hairs on my head are getting grayer, and I'm losing more of them. So let's go here.
Yeah, I forgot that you have that problem with hair leaving. Some of us just naturally have a full head of hair, and
Yeah.
all that. I'm sorry.
On to Hyper Vanguard Force.
So I'll pay for that later, folks. Hyper Vanguard Force. This is the Galaga style minigame we talked about. So
yeah, we're gonna talk about it really.
There's not anything new to say. Check it out.
Cool. It's fun.
Yeah. They also have the Starfarer. They called the post fleshing out the Starfarer, and they had like a bunch of screenshots, internal and external concept art, white boxing, gray boxing, etc. If you want to get one, the standalone ship is for 195. No, thank you. I've already got something that hauls more cargo.
But this hauls fuel and can refine fuel.
So anyway,
that's the difference.
I feel like if you have a fleet, it's totally worth getting one, right?
Oh yeah,
It's But
these are going to be like essential to having a fleet.
If you're like me and probably going to spend most of your time with this lone transport flying around, not as useful. Right. Yeah.
I wanted to get one just because I think it'd be really useful to have one, like overall.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I have the same problem you do, where like, yeah, I'll be playing with like 3 or 4 people, so I really won't have enough to crew it. And then we're like, all the people I'm playing with are on the ship anyway, so we're just gonna have to get hired out or something, which isn't horrible, but
well, it's like, I could easily get a group together, and you get like a large organization,
right?
But like, WoW has just made me so anti running large group stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sick of herding cats.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it.
I have a feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of that for this game because I didn't like get like burnt out on it doing Planet Side because our group disbanded before I had enough time to get burnt out.
Like, if you want me to run a squad, I'll run a squad. I love running squads. Like, if 10 men, maybe 12 men or less, right. I enjoy that so much. It's so much fun. But like larger groups than that, it's just not fun.
Right. Yep. So I'll probably be the one taking over that stuff.
If we do it.
Yeah. If we do it. Yeah, if we get
we'll
that
see
big.
What happens.
Yeah.
For the Starfarer Gemini, that's the LTI military version. That's for $240, like we mentioned before. If you want to upgrade, you can do it for $45. So.
Yep.
There you go. Little stats on it. It's a transport. It's about 90 meters. It's 7-person crew. Cargo capacity is about 3,321. No idea what that translates into, like, fuel tank size and stuff like that. So, like, I don't know how much Hornet uses for fuel capacity versus a Freelancer versus a Reclaimer versus an Idris,
Yep, we don't know any of that yet, so.
After that, we had 10 for the Designers, episode 3 with Matt and Pete, and they were going quick. Holy crap.
I know, they flew.
I appreciate it when they're fast and, like, to the point and don't ramble. But at the same time, like, depending on who's doing the rambling, it's sometimes really fun.
Yeah, I can usually listen to CR ramble, but some other people...
Yeah. You've got a virtual boner for CR.
He's my waifu.
Aww. Krieger-san!
Chris Robertson.
So this one was 13-17. It was Matt and Pete. First question was about co-op missions in the PU. So they don't really have the mechanics worked out, but they want to make it so that people can kind of stay together in the group they're in. So like if you do one mission where one of you is flying a transport and the other one's an escort, and you pick up like another mission, they want to keep that same group dynamic going.
I would hope so, because if it wasn't in the game, I wouldn't play it.
Here's the thing, like, the missions are generated by NPCs and by players, right? So, like, worst case, I'll just generate a shit ton of missions for you. I'll be like, all right, here's the mission, let's do this. Okay, cool.
But wouldn't you have to, like, pay out of your own pocket for it? I mean, if, I don't know.
Well, I assume, like, I'm going to be taking part, and then we'll just, like, split the profits. So, like, I'll just come up with the mission, and then, we
maybe.
do this.
Yeah, I don't know, but there have to be co-op missions. I mean, there just has to be. There has to be.
Oh, yeah. Anyway. After that, we had Hull Breach, which, they want to make it so that people will get vented out to space unless they have mag boots activated if there's a hull breach in your ship. So, awesome.
Cool.
That's really...
I am for
it. Yeah. I wonder, should you always fly around in, a flight suit then? Because somebody could have breached your hull at any time and, vent the atmosphere?
Probably. You pretty much should... I mean, unless you're on, a really big ship.
Even a Constellation,
I probably would not get out of my flight suit in a Constellation.
Yeah. Then they had thruster talk. So this is a question about the different thruster rates. So you got TR rates and Does a TR rate equal a size? No, it doesn't equal a size, but it's more of a measurement of thrust output than anything else, and like the rating is how fast it can go. So you might not be able to put higher rating things on a ship even though the sizes are about the same because it might rip it off or break it or whatever.
Right.
So you're I think that needs to be explained further. Like I don't feel like that was fully explained, but I also don't think they've got like a fully this is a apple, this is an orange, and this is the difference yet.
Well, yeah, I think what they're gonna have to do is just kind of. I mean, thrusters is probably more about balance than anything, right? So they're just gonna have to like band-aid an explanation and be like, yeah, here's why thrust works this way. When in reality, it's just for
like,
balance.
I feel like we had with shields, there's gonna be a thruster post.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll come up.
That's fine.
With that, next question was about thruster force. So they're looking into ways of changing and scaling throttle, so that it's not always a uniform. This is the max speed you can go type thing. It'll depend on the situation, and how fast you're going. So
interesting.
Cross fingers. We'll see what that means.
Right.
Also, we had fuel efficiency. In case people, if it's not clear, this was a lot of thruster talk because when you've got the designers behind it.
Yeah.
There you go. So fuel efficiency, they've got analytics to figure out operating costs for hauling cargo. They want to figure out a way to make it balanced so that like it's cost effective for you to be flying around in a big ship just like it is in a little ship. So it doesn't sound like that's fleshed out, which also leads me to believe they don't have fuel tanks fleshed out yet either.
Nope.
Weapon sizes, range and potency of weapons and sizes, so you can allow for specialization. There's also kind of a cost-benefit analysis that goes with that. Like, do you want this size weapon that does this damage, even though it uses up this much ammo and costs this much to reload it, and so forth?
Yep. Interesting.
So, yep. Escaping from a fight. Yeah, they want to make it possible for you to escape from a fight and refit and repair. And they're even talking about eventually adding that into Arena Commander, so we'll see.
Huh. That could be interesting.
Well, like when we have the Battle for the Idris, when that comes out, Attack the Idris, I imagine that will be like in there for that too. Like,
yeah.
My ship's damaged. Go back, repair while we got him, hold the bet, all that.
Right.
We'll see.
Like we gotta puss out like Wedge and leave the battle.
He couldn't do any more good back there, though.
I disagree.
Hey, say what you will about Wedge Antilles, but there is only one man with both Death Stars painted on his X-wing.
That's true. I mean, he did pull through in the second Death Star battle. That was pretty epic.
Also, who took out the Walker on Hoth?
Well, he took out one of them. Yeah, it was Wedge.
Wedge mother effing Antilles. I've said fuck like 8 times in this podcast. I don't know why I censored myself right there.
I don't know. I felt like this podcast, we were just like, all right, we're just going to accept the fact that we swear. Yeah. Like, we've sworn before, but this one was definitely like, taking it to another level, you fucker.
Oh. Now you've just gone too far.
That's too far. I'm sorry.
You're now the Porkins of this podcast.
I can handle it.
Really? You named the fat pilot Porkins? Come on, guys.
I know, it's so good. It never ceases to crack me up.
Have you seen all those memes where it's like, they've like superimposed like burgers and fries and Porkins heads and all that stuff? Oh, yes. So good.
Like the Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket in front of him.
Hang on, oh god. Oh man. Anyway, ship speed and acceleration. They're looking at that with the throttle and working revamp, and they want to set combat speed dynamically, which is what I was talking about before, where, I don't know what that means exactly. We'll find out.
I don't either. That was a little, okay.
Yeah. Cargo on smaller ships, since, they don't really have cargo holds big enough to hold these massive crates like on the larger vessels. Will you be able to like interact with them? And essentially not in flight. You'll have to wait until you've landed before you can like really interact with it properly.
Huh, okay.
So I was kind of hoping like...
Kind of makes sense?
Well, like for the ships where it's like exterior cargo or it's like a small thing and you can't really get at it, totally makes sense. But like, I feel like the 300i and the Aurora, you'd be able to get to the cargo, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not sure what to... I'll be curious to see what they mean by this. I mean, If I've got a crate full of explosives, I should be able to open it up and dive in there and start, throwing my grenades at other people.
Well,
I
maybe
doubt
if
they'll
you
let
like
you do that.
land on the Idris's hangar and then you get out and then you open up the crate and then you start using the explosives.
There we go. Yeah, you
Yep.
bring a crate with you, like
Yep.
you bring a crate of grenades in. That's smart. I like it.
Last question was about the Redeemer. It was they kind of segued it away from the Redeemer, but can you outfit your ships with different equipment? And essentially, yeah, you'll be able to do it, but you're kind of limited by the size, the space, what you can actually fit in those parts, etc. Like the Redeemer's a gunboat, so
Right.
it doesn't make sense to all of a sudden have a gunboat be a hospital too.
Exactly. It's we've talked about that in the past where we were concerned about the one type of ship just being able to do everything. So why do you need any other types of ships?
Well, like I'm sure for the larger vessels that's true. Like,
Well,
you
yeah,
you can make a jack of all trades destroyer, for
and
example.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you've got the room and
But
size for it.
It should lose to a straight up destroyer.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there you go. That's it for 10 for the designers. Woo.
Woo.
I can't wait till Chris comes back and we get our next 10 for the chairman. But
like it's gonna be in like July.
You think that soon? I thought they were shooting for longer than that.
I don't know. I thought that's what he said when he left, but I could be wrong.
I was thinking like August or September, but that does sound kind of long for a shoot. But they are literally shooting everything, so I don't know.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah.
After that, we had the Discovered Journals of Harper. How do you pronounce it again?
Gwen.
Harper Gwen. So this was boiling it down to it. I was kind of like, for this one, but it's about essentially a person who finds a jump point by accident and then releases the data to the UE and like gets super famous because of it. Their partner died, and then somebody named Taylor robs them and leaves them to die, and then they stumble across a jump point from the Ellis system to Tyrannus, and then they report that to UE and become super famous, and like everyone's like, oh, that's so impressive how you were about to die, but you still discovered and navigated a jump point, etc.
Yeah,
so, there you go.
It didn't feel like it illuminated anything or gave us any new insights into some gameplay mechanics. Just kind of a interesting post, I guess, to appease the explorers out there.
Well, I feel like there's an exploration post coming like soon.
Yeah.
Like they're already talking about working on it, so.
Right.
Yeah. So you got anything non-Star Citizen you want to talk about?
No. I don't know. Can't think of anything.
Okay.
I haven't really played any new video games. I mostly just been playing Hearthstone lately. Gotten like obsessed for some reason.
I don't feel like you ever stopped being obsessed with Hearthstone.
No, it's kind of true. I would go in waves. I still played it consistently, but now I'm like obsessed with playing like ranked mode, and I'm trying to like. I'm never gonna get to Legend because I'm just not gonna play it enough to get that high up. Right. But I want to get into the 10s. Like I've gotten above level or rank 10 before, and I think I can get to like 6 or 5 if I really
play a lot.
Yeah, but I don't know. Other than that, I haven't really played anything new that I can think of. Been pretty busy.
I love how like every time you hit one of your keyboard buttons, I hear it, and then I also see like the note dock just update with your keyboard action.
Oh, I know. I'm like I'm literally sitting here right now, like tap, hitting my arrow
your
keys.
OCD.
Like, I know. I'm like I can't just sit here and like do nothing. I have to be moving. So I'm like sitting here going like.
That's the difference between the two of us. Like I'm one of those people that can leave the mouse, like mouse pointer in the middle of a screen while watching a movie online, and like everybody else gets so pissed off, and I just.
What is wrong with you?
I tune it out. Like it doesn't bother me in the slightest to leave it there.
So weird.
Yeah.
I can't handle it. I have to move it. I'm one of those people who definitely has to move it. I can't handle it.
Well, I feel like that's the normal thing, but I'm just like whatever. I like have the ability to like sit still and just ignore whatever I feel like ignoring. I
wish I had that ability.
It comes in handy on occasion.
I'm constantly fidgeting. I'm constantly moving. I can't sit still.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Like literally, like one time, like when I was at the doctor's office, like we were just like going over like a physical, and everything was mostly fine or whatever. And then like at one point she's like, "Yeah, this result's kind of off," and I was like kind of fidgeting and doing stuff. She's like, "Are you okay? Are you having like, are you hyperventilating?" And I'm like, "I'm fine. I'm constantly fidgeting. I'm sorry. Just
There's
don't."
that one friend of ours who twitches, like his hand twitches.
Oh
You know
yes,
what I'm
yeah,
talking?
yeah. I know what you're
It's
talking
like
about.
he's just standing still, and all of a sudden he just twitches.
Twitch,
And
twitch,
like,
twitch.
God, it's like, what's wrong with you?
See, it doesn't bother me because I'm used like for me that's like normal. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't do the same thing, but I have other weird stuff like that too.
See, all of my stuff that's like weird tics is all internal mental, where it's like I'll remember something that happened forever ago and be like, "Oh, you idiot! Why that?" You know, and like I'll swear out loud because I'm thinking about that so hard, and it's like this is something that like happened 15 years ago. Why the hell did I say that? Then fuck ah!
Oh, I know.
And it's like I felt like so weird about it for the longest time until there was a Reddit post where somebody mentioned doing the exact same thing, and there was like 3,000 people responding like, "I do that too. I thought I was the only one."
Yeah.
And like it made me feel so good about myself that I wasn't the only one that has like memory Tourette's.
Oh, I know. And what's even worse with me is when I'm thinking about stuff, like it's not just related to like memory. It can be like me like thinking about conversations I'm going to have or like, just weird stuff or whatever. I'll make the facial expressions on my face while I'm
Oh,
thinking to myself, and
I do
people
that
will
too.
like look at me and be like, "Why are you like you look really concerned?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm not. I'm just thinking about a conversation I might be having."
Like,
and they're like, "What?"
wow. Wow.
I'm like,
I
you know
do that
what?
same thing, but like I'll remember like jokes or I'll make jokes to myself and then I'll start smiling,
Yep.
all of a
Yep.
sudden out of nowhere. It helps me get through my day. Like if I had a clone of me and I just sat there talking, I would like be enraptured by the conversation because that's literally what happens inside the whole time.
You're
It would
just
just be
enthralled.
external for everyone else to
Wow.
experience.
That explains so much. That
Yeah.
explains so much.
Well, it's the way it is.
What about you? You got anything? Video games, anime, movies, TV?
There's that Arslan Senki anime
What?
that I've been watching. It's like uh military style anime, like strategy, all that stuff. I don't know. I'm on the
Oh.
fence for it being good. It's no
Oh, I heard about that one.
Lelouch of the Rebellion.
Code Geass.
It
Yeah.
Koge, yes, thank you. Yeah, it's not that, but like it could be. They just haven't gotten very far in the story. It's kind of dragging its feet, but at the same time, like everything that happens makes sense. So like, you know, I'm a fan of things making sense.
I think I have that. Yeah, Arslan Senkai. Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
there you
that
go.
on my to watch list actually. So,
It's not bad. I've been
okay.
watching that. So
Yeah. All right. All right. I'll have to check it out.
yeah,
I've got a huge to watch list, so I'll put it on there. I'm still working on Gungrave.
I'm all caught up on everything at this point. I'm sure there's stuff that you told me to watch that I kind of forgot about. I'm sure, but like
Yeah.
everything like that I had on my plate that I was like, okay, I got to read this manga. I need to watch this anime. I need to watch this TV show. I need to watch this movie. I need to do this. This. I'm all caught up now. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, all right.
There you go.
I need to start working on The Wire and all those other that
Oh,
I
yes,
haven't
you
seen.
do. The Wire is so
See,
good.
I gotta do Battlestar Galactica. I gotta do Breaking Bad. I gotta do The
Wow.
Wire. I gotta do. Um, I'm sure there's something else. Oh,
I haven't
House
seen
of
Breaking
Cards.
Bad either. Yeah, House of
I
Cards sounds good.
I tried watching Breaking Bad, but I just couldn't get into it. Like the first episode,
It takes a couple episodes. Okay, so I haven't. I should say I've seen the first season of Breaking Bad, and I haven't
Mhm.
seen anything after that. And it takes a little while to get going, but once it does get going, it's really good. It's really cool. But drop everything you're doing and watch The Wire. That is one of the best TV shows ever. It's
Well,
really,
that's what
really
everyone
good.
says. They're like,
I
"Oh,
have it
what's
all
the
on
perfect
DVD.
TV show?" The Wire. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have it all on DVD if you want to borrow it. It's super good.
I still need to finish Life on Mars too. I
Oh,
forget where we
really?
left off.
Oh, that's right. Well, that I was trying to wait to like show that because we were watching it with a couple other people. So like, I
Well, now
wanted
that's
to.
all messed up because everybody's everywhere else.
I know. So yeah, well, we can watch that too. That's a really good. It's the BBC version of Life on Mars, in case anybody here is wondering, because the American version is fucking dildos.
Aww.
But like,
Not dildos.
It's dildos.
I don't like any of those things.
But the BBC version is out freaking standing. One of the best TV shows ever, in my opinion. So, yeah. Oh, one thing I just was looking at my to watch anime list, and I didn't know this existed. There's a Starship Troopers anime that isn't Roughnecks. There's like a whole nother one they did called Invasion.
Oh, that's a movie.
It's a movie. Okay, have
Yeah.
you seen it?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, is it good? Okay, I want to watch it because I haven't seen it.
Like, it's Starship Troopers good, if you know what that means.
Then I'll enjoy it. That's
Yeah.
my kind of
Like,
good.
There's relative goods. Like, I watch different things for different reasons.
Right.
So, like, if I was in a Starship Troopers reason mood, then yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
If I'm in watching classical, no, it's not. But
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
All right.
Yeah, have you seen Sword of the Stranger? I think I recommended that to you.
Nope,
That's
it's on
another
the
anime.
list.
Oh, watch that first.
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
Oh, it's so good. Like, the action is amazing in that one.
And I've heard that the fight scenes are just incredible.
Yeah, well, it's like Sarai no Morbito.
Yeah.
Like that one, like how great the fight scenes are in that. Like, this one's more over the top fight scenes, but still that same vein where it's like really good action.
Okay, I'll definitely enjoy it then.
Yeah, but there's no like superpowers or any shit like that.
I'm fine with that. That's fine.
I like,
you know me.
Yeah, it's like I prefer the more realistic stuff to the superpower stuff. 99 times out of 10.
I do too. Yeah,
so.
I do too. I don't got anything else.
Well, I'm sure there's stuff I'm forgetting.
The one thing I did want to ask: did you watch the Supergirl trailer?
Oh, for the no, I didn't know the
show?
trailer was out. I saw like the promo pics.
Yeah,
I haven't seen the show.
They released like a 7-minute trailer.
I'm sure I'll watch it.
Yeah, it actually looked pretty good.
Well, like I've been watching the Arrow and Flash, and like in the last Flash episode, they mentioned, oh, we're going to Ferris Air. Ferris Air, hasn't that shut down? Yeah, one of their test pilots disappeared. So to me, that means maybe they're gonna introduce Green Lantern, and maybe do a Green Lantern TV show, or at least like a guest appearance or something like that.
Can we do it right? Can we do it right this time? Like, man,
probably not. So like, I feel like Hal Jordan, yeah, he's the Green Lantern, but like to me, the more interesting Green Lantern's Jon Stewart, just because of Justice League and all that. So
I tend to agree. Actually, I do prefer Stewart over Jordan.
Or you could
Jordan's very bland, in my opinion. I don't know.
Kyle Rayner was interesting too.
Yeah.
Especially with all that they do with him, like learning all the emotional spectrum or whatever, and having all the ring powers.
Right. So. That stuff I found really interesting as well. Like the blue, and I think was there a white? Like there was a bunch of different colors.
Well, white is when it's all combined.
That's
and then
Okay.
Black is what they did with Blackest Night, where you have all the Black Lanterns are like all the dead heroes and villains coming back and being Black Lanterns and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
But like, I don't know if that's all. I assume that's all wiped out now because of the new 52. So
yeah, it probably is. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you should also see Flashpoint.
Oh yeah, I do want to watch that.
That's really, that's a good one.
I got to see that.
So many shows, so little time.
I know.
Well, I'm gonna stop rambling.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we've rambled enough.
All right. Well, that's it for this week's episode of the Flight Deck. We will catch you guys next week.
Peace.